Hey, thank you for joining us for episode 4 of Fool's Banter Radio. I'm your host, Brad. Joining me, as usual, are these three fools.
Fools, call
Introduce
me a fool.
yourselves.
Steve, Keith, Edwin.
Cool, how you guys doing?
Pretty good.
There it is. You can't go without it, man.
But you
Pretty
guys
good.
are dicks.
What? You crazy, man.
You know what you did on that recording.
We encourage it.
I don't know what you're talking about, man. I did a lot of things on that
It was
recording.
funny, don't
You
worry.
talking about before we started the show?
Before we started the show, yeah, we were doing the...
Oh, you're talking the
recording.
video.
Oh, the
Yeah.
stuff we have to legally cut out.
That's for Patreons
Yeah,
only.
Patreon. We don't have a Patreon.
I know.
Yeah, cool. Episode 4, we got a pretty good show. Today we're going to be talking about some mobas, then some books, and then we're going to close it off with a story from Steve about how I'm a bully-ass older brother.
Just a bully.
Oh, and Edwin says that we're going to be talking also about tits and booty holes.
What?
Edwin's real excited about them tits and booty holes.
Yeah, you gotta love those tits booty holes, I guess. Yeah.
You gotta bring up tits and booty holes all the time.
Every episode.
All day, every day. But before we get into the show or whatever, I mean, what's been going on? Anything new and exciting in the news you guys are excited about?
Not in
In the news.
Oh yeah, in the news, like what's been going on? Not
yeah.
not
Or
necessarily
they-
with yourself.
I guess
what's been
kind
going
of
on in the
exciting,
world?
not in a
Not-
good way.
Trying to
I-
remove funding for science or something like that. I don't know.
You're trying to remove funding for science?
Trump.
Oh,
I don't know.
Wow.
You said news, and I got the first news story.
I know,
that we got
something
was just
for-
I
horrible.
want to stay away from the news, really. There's some dark stuff in there.
You don't want
I
to
know.
kill yourself.
There's
just
a
looking
few
at the
things
news.
that happen.
No.
That's a good decision. Just stay out of it all entirely. You're fine.
Yeah, I try to avoid it. But there's a few things that happen that I know affect Keith a little bit, but those happened a while back. We haven't touched on them yet, but Destiny 2 was announced. And
September.
Keith's worst fears, it's actually called Destiny 2. Oh no.
How is that
What are
your
you
worst
gonna do,
fear?
Keith? He wanted something more creative.
Part dose.
That's like Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. They're
I
just
love-
like,
no,
don't
So
care.
the volume makes
To
it
be
a
fair,
lot
volume
better.
is it fits perfectly with that movie.
It fits well for Guardians too. Yeah.
Well, just because of the whole cassette thing, you know.
They're
But
still
they use
coming
this-
out with those superhero movies just as quick, aren't they?
They're
I love 'em.
amazing.
I love them.
They're not like the highest grossing, the most
It's cool.
popular.
I think it's gonna die though at some
Well,
point.
I mean, I'm sure it's
In
just
like 2
a-
more years,
Yeah,
after
maybe it's like a
2019.
decade thing. Who knows?
Nothing
But
ever
I
got-
do have something I want to talk about.
Heroes never die. Is that what
Last
you're saying?
week, I was at the NorCal Regionals fighting game tournament
Did you
playing
win?
Street Fighter. No, I got in the top 48 though. I don't remember how many people were in the tournament. I think it was
Fucking
something around
pleb.
300, 400 players. Actually, I think it might have been more, closer to 5.
Huh?
But yeah, I mean, I got knocked out by some professional players, but that was a hell of
just
an
slumming it in
experience.
the small tournaments.
Did you hold your own against them or what?
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah,
Yeah,
you did
yeah.
pretty good. Were you proud of yourself?
Oh yeah, I'm proud.
Oh,
Shook
yeah.
some of their hands, got some good tips.
I thought you were gonna say tits. Like,
Some
alright,
good
covered
tits and
that.
good
We're
hair.
like the booty
super
holes coming
nerds.
in.
Some of those you don't want to shake their hands. They were just
No,
itching their butt.
all of the pros for Street Fighter are actually hygienic.
They're not like the
What?
comic book guy.
They're
from
not
Simpsons.
they're not the
That's because their stink cloud might interfere with the joystick movements.
yeah, but no,
Snickers.
they're really kind. They're good people.
Oh, that's
Got autographs, shook some hands, got some advice, some head nods.
cool, man.
Good stuff, dude. Those
That's awesome. Also, something that happened a while back was they announced the StarCraft 2 or StarCraft HD remake.
Oh yeah.
Yes, that one.
I heard.
I think I saw that it was going to be free, right? It's free?
Oh.
I saw it, but I can't do the rest of
And
it.
it's still, and the cool thing is, it's still StarCraft feel, but it's all
Well, it's
cleaned up.
literally
Updated cleaned up.
StarCraft,
Yeah.
just HD, yeah.
yeah, just
Which makes you wonder if they're going to do that with some of their older ones, like maybe Diablo 2.
No, not Diablo 2. Just Diablo 1.
Really-
No, they wouldn't hit back Diablo 1. Diablo 2 was like the...
Diablo 1 was
The
the
Why? You guys got
craziest
Diablo
three
3.
classes.
They don't need
Dude,
to, that's
you don't
Diablo 3.
understand.
No.
Because then
You
they're
don't
like
understand.
triple dipping back on Path of Exile.
You don't understand how much money they would make even if they charged like $1 for the HD remaster.
Yeah,
of
They'd
Diablo
make
I
it
agree.
only if it was adult.
Oh, you do you guys?
I think you guys are
play? Do you play?
overestimating the market.
No, I haven't
Not
since it
even
was a
close.
thing.
It'd be purchased for nostalgia and then sit there forever.
I don't know, man. It's
I don't know. I'm
It
still
was
playing.
massive.
I still
Agree
got
with him.
3
People-
CD keys that I use to this day, and I know other friends that
Yeah,
have.
but that's
that,
not everybody. That's
Yeah.
not a marketable amount of people that do that.
yeah, I think you'd be surprised. But anyway,
You-
Yeah,
what
you'd be
army?
super.
See, Steve, we're on the right track. I think
No,
You're on the
Nostalgia
right
is
track.
only
We
marketable
know-
because they
We know
just frequent
so much.
the same 2 websites back and forth and just talk about Path of Exile and Diablo all day.
Yeah.
So they get that feedback loop.
oh yeah, man. Oh yeah, just the same
and,
stuff.
and the 3 other people that are in my own home.
Exactly.
In my
three
own
other
home.
people, the only the 3
And-
other people, not in your home, in the
all of
world.
us in the whole city. Who still care about
I don't
Diablo?
talk with people randomly about Diablo because that's just
I don't
real
even-
weird. I would think.
even
Just-
if nobody else played it, I still play the shit out of it.
Oh yeah, I mean, hell yeah. There's some
Even I
people-
would,
even
I would
would've
probably
done it.
get it, but and play it. But it's
No, I just apparently, or there was this thing I saw where people were actually fans were remaking the game with the StarCraft 2 engine.
Oh really?
Yeah, and it looked pretty decent.
kind of reminds me.
But
Didn't
but the problem was is you could tell that some of the character models were just StarCraft 2 character models. They hadn't actually made new ones yet.
It's just
I-
like
I
recolored.
Yeah,
I
it was
heard
pretty
something?
silly.
I
But
don't know
the
how-
skills I saw were pretty cool.
I don't know
I
how
was wondering.
recent it was, but I heard that they updated Warcraft 3 recently.
Yeah,
Like that game is like 10 years old.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
There
and they
was the-
updated it recently and
they
made
still-
the editor like completely open source, so people can do whatever
They
they,
still
want to do it now.
update Diablo 2. I still deal with updates on it.
yeah. They'll do ladder resets and stuff because there's still thousands.
But yeah,
of
but is
people
it
to
actually
play.
like content updates where they change stuff?
Yeah,
If
they'll
it's just a
they'll add
ladder
things
reset,
like they
it's-
add the ability to
They're,
respec
they're still
like
fighting
years
hack-
and years, like 10 years after the game released.
Yeah, they're still fighting the hackers on Diablo 2.
So how are people still hacking Diablo 2? Or why would they
Bots.
care?
Bots.
bought-
Everybody's still bots.
So,
Is it-
so
is
I'll
it-
break
is
it
it-
down for you.
Hold on. Is there real money involved in
Yes,
Diablo 2?
I'll
Okay.
break it down for you. The main thing is they'll make bots, primarily Hammerdins, who will run bail runs, get to like max level,
Speaking
climb the
another
ladder or
language.
whatever, and those will sit there and pick up anything that's valuable and everything, and those fuel the real money shops.
So it's
full of
it's
these
the bot.
items.
Is it anything like the bot I ran when I played RuneScape?
There's
chop
also
you.
there's also duping, which they'll dupe. Not so much anymore, but Sojas, Stone Jordans,
Yeah,
as
wouldn't it
well
be
as
easier as-
High Runes. High Runes is the main thing
Wouldn't
they
it be
do.
And
easier
anything
to
else
stop
high-
the bots
that's high
from
enough.
duping by stopping the
Yeah.
dupe glitch than stopping the bots?
In what?
Well, no, because another
Well,
thing...
'cause it's an old program. It's old, infrastructure. So
But if
there's many
if they're
holes
still
in it and stuff.
fighting it, I feel like they have so much more
I don't
information
think-
on it now that they could easily.
It's the way it was put together. It's that it's
It's
based
the way
on-
they stopped it in Diablo 3 was just pretty much made everything bound. But the problem is it's old infrastructure, so they don't really want to put enough manpower to sit there and rebuild something so that
Yeah.
there's no holes in it.
I
or
wouldn't do that
anything.
shit either.
Yeah.
I would just seriously just. Well, I mean,
And-
you can't do a complete server
Actually,
reset.
one
Just
of-
Well,
dump-
that's what the ladder resets are for.
Oh, I thought you just.
They have ladder resets. You start a new character. There's ladder exclusive items.
The biggest
and everything.
killer, though, isn't the fact that people are doing that. The biggest problem is info bots that just fill.
Oh, you're talking about the spam bots. Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
those are the
'cause
worst
for all the shops.
plague.
You have the real money shops and everything. They have their bots that jump into everybody's game and spam the website addresses.
I
and
mean,
stuff.
that's any online
You're-
game ever.
See, with Diablo, you create a game and 8 people can join, and it's just a wall of text that covers the entire screen whenever you get into a game. So first thing you do is make a game to where there's the certain level characters can't enter your game because usually they're level 1. And then the second you see someone with a wonky name in there, you freaking mute them the second they come in to keep that freaking wall of text.
Seems
There's
like
a
way
button to
too much
clear the
effort.
wall of text, but
They should add a button where you can automatically mute chat before you go into any game.
well, you don't want to do that because
There's a lot of
the whole game is
documentation.
based around that chat system. It's not a little box or anything. You just
Yeah, but there's a lot of games that do that now, where you can just go in the settings and
that's
just
how you
turn off-
communicate that you want someone
chat.
to invite you to their party and everything because you can't request a party invite. That's how you do it.
Yeah.
And how you request them to send you a
Well, it's similar. It's similar to the one they run in Diablo 3, isn't it?
Kind of. They got rid of a lot of those things.
But it all boils down to that game's like 10 years old.
One of the things that like
why is that still happening?
It's older.
Or why are
It's like
people
20.
still gun there? Yeah,
paying attention?
97 or something like that.
That's like there's still hackers on all like even the console versions of all the old Call of Duties and stuff, but they're just making them aimbotting and making themselves invincible. And it's like, why are you still on this 10-year-old Call of Duty, making it so you're unbeatable? Like, what's the point in that?
Well, Path of Exile still has a problem with real money trades and everything, but the moderators on that are vigorous about getting on top of people who try to do that and everything. But
what's like most MMOs with those scamming sites that try to make you pay real money for gold. I mean, there's some legitimate ones, but there's some sketchy ass ones out there too.
Life is filled with people ready to take advantage of you.
I've met these kind of people that take the offers that have come in the mail or that have those weird voicemails that say, "Hey, you owe us $8,000 for the IRS. Send us this or give us your credit card information." And then we had one person come into my office and say that she actually paid it.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell? Oh my god.
I mean, I got some stories about things like that, but that's for another time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's a rabbit hole.
Yeah.
But yeah, so let's get into we want to talk about some MOBAs. Steve, you were talking about a new one that's coming out. What was that?
Yeah, it's in beta on the Xbox if you're in a preview program. I don't know if it's on the computer yet or anything, but it's called Paladins, and it's basically a shitty Overwatch made by the people who made Smite. And I say that
kind of like how Smite's a shitty League of Legends.
Kind of. Yeah. No, I actually like Smite more than any of the other MOBAs I've played. But
Overwatch
that's the problem. Everybody I've talked to considers Overwatch a MOBA because technically it is.
It's like a
Call
hybrid.
of Duty is like technically a MOBA because it's a battle. Yeah,
multiplayer online battle.
I think they're definitely more hybrid, like shooter MOBA.
If you, it's
it's
more hybrid of a MOBA than Overwatch is because it's basically like Overwatch gameplay with more of like Smite's like buying items and stuff like that.
Okay,
and it's I hope it's just because it's in beta because I played way too much Smite and I do like all their stuff, but it's pretty good. But it's just at the same time it's terrible.
There's too many of them, man. Everybody jumps on the bandwagon the second something is good.
But I don't know. I didn't really like Overwatch. I thought Overwatch was pretty boring.
I preferred.
I liked it, but I didn't love it.
Yeah, I mean, I played it for a little while, but I can't get absorbed into it like everyone else is doing.
I enjoy the fan art. That's about it.
The storyline is what I like the most about it because I do like.
I didn't even realize that.
I didn't know how to story.
They have a single player story in that game.
I guess
I don't think so. It's like cinematics, if I remember correctly. They have like little 10-minute cinematics for each character that like tell a story.
With
it's like it's lore,
Blizzard's real MOBA. Here's a Storm, which is my MOBA of choice.
Yeah, I do like that one. I do play that one a bit myself.
Apparently, so you saw the new thing. They're kind of redesigning the whole thing. It's Heroes of the Storm 2.0. They're going with an Overwatch thing as far as like the loot crates and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, that's the same thing with
they kind of almost lost all their players to Heroes of the Storm.
Smite had the same thing,
but they're kind of they're literally calling it Heroes of the Storm 2.0.
Well, that based on Battle.net Blizzard strategy, that's usually what they do. It's always the next iteration. It's not like they keep one thing alive forever.
So yeah, they're revamping the whole thing apparently to be very similar to the way Overwatch works.
Hell, I haven't played Heroes of the Storm since.
I might check it out at some point.
Who the hell came out?
The last new person.
I like to keep up with the characters. I like Keith said those videos. I like to watch the intro videos to the heroes. And
last time I played was before that dude dropped as a part of that last.
Did you see the Necromancer
StarCraft expansion?
Like Tassadar or something?
Tassadar, I think that was him.
That was around when
that was super early. Yeah, so you didn't see the Necromancer or any of the Diablo?
Yeah, they had the Diablo characters recently.
You didn't see the Monk come out?
Well, I know they remade him. Because the monk.
I told you, I used to play the shit out of the monk, but then they like nerfed the shit out of him and changed the way it works.
I haven't played.
So it made shit for me.
That's something I
like to play the Diablo characters.
It's the balance in MOBAs. You probably know so much because you play so much League, but the balance is always one thing that it it's impossible to actually balance. Yeah, but it's constantly changing based on what people figure out. And Paladins,
they kind of do it just to change the meta of everything, so that tournaments don't get stale and stuff like that.
Yeah, because it's in beta, Paladins is so broken right now. They've got frontline, flank, damage, and support. Those are the 4 classes. Mm-hmm. And the frontline characters, there's one in particular that's so broken because he has 2 moves that give himself a shield or give his teammate a shield. And they cool down in time to activate one right after the other.
Oh, so you can alternate.
Yeah, he can just have, if whoever that character is talking to somebody else. It doesn't matter if it's the squishiest character, but they can constantly have a tank that's not taking damage because the shields are the strongest thing in the game. You get shields higher than the strongest tank's health pool.
Wow.
So it's he has this shield on himself which almost triples his health pool, and then as soon as that's gone, he can put it on somebody else basically, he doesn't have to be looking at them. He just has to look at them to start it, and then he can go hide around a corner or something while they're tanking and then come back and take the tank. That character's so broken. Every single game that character was on the other team, I lost. But every one where he wasn't, I was winning.
One thing, my MOBA of choice right now is Paragon, because one of the biggest issues I have with a lot of games in general right now, not cross-platforming. It's a good game in itself, but I can literally play on my PlayStation with my computer buddies.
Yeah, you like the cross-platform.
That feels like that's way harder to balance that, because balance is always different for console and PC.
Yeah, it always is, because the controller one is always
the controller ways
it's
different for aiming and stuff. So skill shots are much more overpowered on PC because it's easier to aim with that stuff.
I don't know. I find it pretty balanced on there. I play on my computer or on my PlayStation, and it feels the same. The only time it's different is when I have the screen up here for the PlayStation. I'm nope, doing it. I go to the computer and plug in my PlayStation controller to my computer, and it's just really smooth for being, especially for what you would think a cross-platformer would be. You'd expect all these glitches, and they did have a lot more glitches in the beginning, but it runs smooth. And the only problem I come up with is the players. There's some horrible players. You'll see one person pick
glass,
and then they'll
iconic.
That is classic MOBA. That's any MOBA.
Right there. Yeah. They're the most toxic pieces of
and then if they're not good, they never get a chance to learn. You
want to get me started with that.
I know I played Edwin. That's why days and days of Smite. So
Edwin experienced the most of this. He's what I call the recovering addict.
Well, yeah, dude, over 3,500 hours of my life put into League of Legends. So.
I'm
insane, man.
I'm gonna do the math for about how many hours I had into Smite on the console, because it was 30 days or something.
Yeah.
That's crazy, but I like the characters of that's another thing they're changing, is how you get the characters. You can unlock characters in the loot crates and stuff on Here's the Storm. But I really liked playing as Diablo. He was really good at repositioning people, because he could grab them and throw them behind him.
I just always thought he was so stubby.
Oh, but he was super
once he gets in there, he's one mean motherfucker.
He was super tanky, and with his ultimate, you could just get down a line with that lightning.
I remember the one time I played with you, you freaking got a team kill by yourself while everybody else was dead.
Dude, I was wrecked.
We all died. We were playing with Brad and a couple of my friends, and we all died, and then of course it switches to spectating him, and he just goes in and ults and just killed
with the entire Inferno team. Man, Diablo's Lightning Inferno is deadly no matter what game you're playing. But,
it's ridiculous.
But I loved him because I would, whenever you're laning and everything, and they'd get near your wall, your barrier. As soon as they get too close, I'd use the move, Diablo would grab them and throw them over the barrier behind me, and they just get knocked down by the turrets. Cracked me up.
Another thing about Paragon, it's a card system, meaning there's a deck, and
that's how Paladins is too. Yeah, I was going to talk about that.
But they have face cards. You have spots for 6 cards. 2 of them are inactive because they're the stick. But the face cards have capacity for 3 power-up cards. And it takes you could take and do all these things with it. There's, everybody knows all about lifesteal and the attack speed and all that.
Basically,
it's all
the basic RPG stats.
And those power cards, pretty much that's what it boosts, right?
Yeah, and I mean, you level up to level 10 in it, and most of the stuff you get out of the loot crates is cards. So you automatically have all the characters, so you can literally choose
like Dota.
Yeah, so you can be what you want to be. The only thing you haven't
be all that you can be.
No, you can't because you have to get the cards.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah. Once you collect the right Pokemon cards, you can be all that you can be.
Yeah.
No, they're more like magic cards. Paladins has that same card system. It's got the 6 slots, and then you can upgrade, and you have a 12-point system per the character per loadout. And you can upgrade each particular card that you put in, so you can change your build. But on top of that, when you're in the game, you get credits, and you can buy little extra stuff. Lifesteal is only from the thing in the credits, and there's 4 things in 4 slots, so it's a 4x4, and you can only get 1 in each column. So if you get lifesteal, then you can't get the other thing, which is extra heal out of combat. And it's the same thing. Boots are on that same system, so it's do I want boots or do I want cooldown?
So it's the level up system in Heroes of the Storm, then that sort of style.
Oh,
where you
only get
it is. It's exactly like that. It's weird. Paladins,
I'm
finding out because I didn't realize the cards. I thought the card system might be unique. It is a mix of Heroes of the Storm, Paragon, and Overwatch. It's crazy because the combat and all that fighting is exactly like Overwatch, and then there's a card system like Paragon, I guess, and then. Yeah, the leveling system is exact because you don't actually level; you just get the money to do that.
You just get the money to do it.
So that's exactly
you get your choice.
Storm.
Yeah.
That's too complicated. I like Heroes of the Storm because of its simplicity.
It was actually really easy.
Well, Heroes of the Storm has that simplicity just because you don't buy items, you don't buy anything. You just straight up click a box and be like, "What do I want to do? Oh, I want that one.
I want this build or whatever."
It gives me 3 more seconds of this stuff.
What I love is that the team all levels up together.
I
don't like that.
You don't.
I don't like that either. That's something
I don't like that one player.
Your hard carry's level 20 when everybody else is level 12, and they're just destroying everybody.
But I love that. I like the range of levels between players. Simply just because when you do the whole team level up together, it's like a fucking participation ribbon.
Yeah, and
that's
I hate
exactly
that.
what it is. It's really, well, your team, some of your teammates are doing good, and you're doing terrible, but we can't have you behind, so we're gonna keep it all together.
That's like in Smite when somebody leaves, they don't level up, but they get the gold that they would be if they're in the game. So they'll come back, they'll be way under leveled, but they'll still have the items. But yeah, so it's gonna be really hard if somebody quits and then gets forced back in the same game because they did that system. They actually didn't. It's funny because Smite had been out for a year before they ever put that system in to punish anybody leaving. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, they could just leave and then just go start a new game. But they made it so it forces you back into the game you were in, or you had to wait until the game was over, and you'd still get the 5-minute ban.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like it's it's not really. It punishes bad players more, but it ups the skill gap, so the better players can succeed more.
Exactly.
See, what I like about Paragon is it everybody leveling up depends on themselves and the team. So you literally have to have at least 4 people playing decent to level up right in the game, because if people are in the same lane together, they have to split the experience. But if there's ways to get more card points, and card points are up to 60 for each character. You literally can take your deck and personalize it to where you can think about it as much as you want or as little as you want during the game. But you have to think about it when you're putting the card deck together, because once you put it that way, you're going to be different from everybody else most of the time, and you're going to have your setup.
So you like the customizability?
It's customizable. It only punishes people for being in groups of idiots.
I feel like that's. You said it's 4. How big is the game? Is it a normal 5?
It's a 5.
Yeah, you said you need 4 people doing good on your team. That really punishes if 3 friends are playing together and they're good, and they get two complete shitters, then they're going to be brought down.
It depends on if any of them can carry.
It's the way you made it sound. It seems like even if you can carry, it's going to still punish you if two teammates.
Every game punishes you a little bit if you.
Well, I mean, I've had games where me and a friend were doing really good, and we 2v5 the entire other team and still won. Like we've had games where literally everybody left and we won a 2v5 just because when there's only two people, you level up so much faster and you get so much more money and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The only time you really lose that is if they catch wind real quick and they just start going for objectives.
If it's no loss.
That's how League of Legends works.
Yeah,
so as soon
they break wind.
So as soon as one team has more than the other, it becomes an objective race because you shouldn't be going face to face. There's no point. It's called splitting. So you just split the party up while you take up all the objectives on the map. Make them scramble, and then if they try to challenge you or whatever, you have 5 against 4, and it's usually in your favor.
Yeah, one particular game I was, the 3 people had left, and it was just me and my friend who always played tank. And I always played DPS whenever he was playing tank, so it was just a tank and the DPS, and we were beaten. They had a weird setup with 2 tanks and 3 DPS and no healers, and we still just smashed them, because all their DPS was just glass cannon squishy. I could kill them all in 2 seconds, and then of course he was just distracting all of them. So it's a good feeling when you beat something that's way against the odds. That was probably my proudest game I've ever had.
I've come back from some pretty behind games, but it all depends on if you can adjust to the jungle, because people in Paragon, a lot of people will say that the jungle is trash, but it gives just enough reward for it to be rewarding. And the only way to make up for a bad jungler is to literally have each person in each lane take a part of the jungle and use it themselves. And it's easy to do because there's river buffs, and you use those when your mana's low. There's 2 of them, and you just got to hit those.
The way you said
bringing it back.
Mana.
Yeah.
You don't have enough mana.
You go hit those up, and I mean, it could be a power, some skill boost, basic attack boost, a speed boost, or invisibility, and then you go back to the green buff.
That seems weird in a MOBA.
Yeah, that's a strong mechanic.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Tassadar in Heroes of the Storm has it. So does Nova.
Yeah, it always seems like it's character abilities, not a
Nova
map
is
buff.
So annoying because she'll be invisible.
But it's not true.
Attacking her,
you can see
and she's got a decoy. No, it's true invisibility.
That was
it has. You can see them
in Smite. You have the only thing to see invisibility is wards, or if you have somebody who can mark, but you have to mark them before they're invisible.
Yeah.
But that's
wards are important.
My favorite assassin was Loki, and I wouldn't say my favorite. I mained somebody who I ended up hating because he was the worst assassin, and he's the only one I actually fully mastered. But one of my favorites was Loki, and he's the one who just is invisible all the time.
What a trickster that guy.
Yeah, he's just the one-shot build is the best. Go invisible, you get the instant crit on that, and they're 70% of their health is gone. You got to hit them once.
Wards are important because there's 2 jungles in between the 3 lanes, and they are fogged off, so you can't just look down there and see them.
Fog of War?
You can't. In that game, you can't look straight down a thing. Yeah, well, is it a top-down MOBA?
No, it's got a first-person shooter feel to it, but it doesn't.
Is it actually in first person?
I think we went over this. We'd have to see it.
Yeah, I mean, none of us have seen Paragon. I haven't even seen a YouTube video.
Yeah, I know. I haven't seen.
We have to see it to know what Keith is.
Yeah, I played literally every other MOBA we've discussed.
Smite. If you're looking straight down a lane, no matter how far they are, if you can see straight down the lane, you can still see the characters. It's just if you break line of sight with them, then you can't see them on the map or anything. So.
And I know League of Legends is that same thing. Ward control. Making sure the jungles are...
Yeah, wards didn't seem really that important in Smite until the latest update, right when I stopped.
They're not important in Heroes of the Storm, I don't think.
Well, they don't have them.
Yeah, they don't have
anything. It's just characters.
Yeah, they made it so the ward... Because they switched up all the items and made wards a relic at the latest update in Smite. And they made it so if every time it detects somebody, you get a small amount of gold. Mm-hmm. So it's if you just slap a ward in the middle of the map and they don't see you when it's a 1-lane thing... that whoever put that down is getting all the money.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow, that's pretty neat.
Yeah, but it seems weird because they got rid of the items and switched it to the relics, which is stuff you get your 2 seconds of invisibility on relics, or you can get like the crowd control
break,
so that kind of thing.
Heroes of the Storm kind of simplified.
Yeah, they really simplified it because there was all the items and which was like all the relics, and then they switched all to just the relics.
Dota, I tried playing a little bit. I really like all the characters. I think they're cool with fantasy characters. I like he said, the story thing or whatever. So I've been listening to some books at work. If we want to get into the books.
Okay, books.
I can't actually read them when I'm at work, obviously, because I drive. But I listen to audiobooks.
You can't read.
Besides that,
pretty lettering.
I can't read or anything. But I've been looking for really good books. I downloaded a Star Wars one, but it was only like 2 hours long.
What
pissed me off. It was like took place right after the original trilogy.
So it was just one of the, was it an actual like official one? Like one of the Star Wars
stories?
It was actual. Like the Han Solo movie they're making off from one of the Han Solo
cost me
storybooks.
a buttload of money for just 2 hours.
Oh, wow.
I was pissed. I didn't know how long it was, and then I've just been searching for random fantasy stories and stuff. Like the first one I listened to was it was a real good story. It's called The Powers of Six. It's Emissary of Light, Book 1. And I listened to it, and I was like, this is sweet. I can't wait for the next ones, and I look for it. And the other books haven't been written yet. I'm like, son of a bitch.
I'm just going to George R. R. Martin that shit and take 30 years.
Yeah, man, it sucks. But, I mean, it was pretty cool. It was like all these kids or whatever, when they would come of age, they'd go to like a countrywide tournament or whatever to see if they can bring out certain powers in them pertaining to six powers. They had like strength, speed, perception, accuracy, all represented by a different color.
Endurance.
Yeah, all represented by a different color and everything. And they would like beat the shit out of these kids to try to get the powers out of them. And then if they showed any power, they called them their Shay powers. If they showed any power, they were automatically forced to rule or to be one of the king's soldiers.
No, I thought you were going to say be
in the army. But
that's cool.
Like, you're a king now.
Yeah, they were automatically forced to be part of their soldiers and stuff. And this book is about some people who didn't like that and found out more about these Shay powers and everything. And it got pretty deep and pretty crazy.
So it's pretty deep into the fantasy then.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, those are the type of books that I really like. Because as far as I go, I mean, I've read like the Mistborn series, some of the Dresden Files books, Malazar books. Or Malazan, I think. Yeah, that's the name.
I want to know where
my favorite one would probably be a Brandon Sanderson book series. It's called the Stormlight Archives. And right now they have 2 books. It's supposed to be like a 10-book series, so it's a really new one.
Oh, so same shit as me?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It's like, the first one came out, and right when the first one came out, it was like 3 months before the second one dropped. But I mean, I got my hands on that second book the day it came out. Amazon Prime that, and read through that whole book in maybe a week. And they're good, like 800-900 page books each. And I mean, the story is incredible. It's kind of the same, emergence of like superpowers that you come across, Brad, and those books that you read. But it's like they're awakened, and there's like these mystical weapons, and each person has one unique to them. Or you get like you get a very specific power that's tied to some sort of deity or something. But I mean, it's incredible. Good shit. Stormlight Archives. Nice. First one. I can't remember.
I'll have to look. Do they have audiobook versions?
Yeah, they do. I mean, they're like
there's
48
audiobook
bucks
of everything.
Okay.
Which is just kind of steep.
Good lord.
I'm not too big of a fan. Yeah, they're expensive. But let's see. I know the second book is called Words of Radiance. Nice. I'll look it up. You can come back to me on that.
What about you, Steve? You read any books or anything?
No, not really recently. The only time I ever get a chance to read is at work, and I'm just lazy. No, but I've got stuff to talk about. One of my favorite, actually 2 series. They're both trilogies that are in the Warhammer universe. I've had these books for years. One of them is a
Blood Bowl or whatever.
Yeah, Blood Bowl. There's like the Blood Bowl trilogy, and it follows just like one character. But that's probably like my favorite book series ever. And then there's another one called the Soul Drinker's Omnibus, which is just a chapter for Space Marines, which is the 40K version of the Warhammer universe. And it's crazy because they're like, all the Space Marines are super powerful, but they're like extra powerful, and they're specifically mutant hunters. And by the third book, they're all mutants. And they've got like crazy, like the main one's just like half spider, and he's just like running around with his giant lancer thing as a spider climbing up walls and murdering other people.
From what I heard, is the Warhammer books are a lot of building up to some epic battle, and then like half the book of them just describing how they're mutilating all the enemies and everything.
It really is. Those are books. I've never had a book where I'm like, this is gory, and it's just a goddamn book.
It's just half a book of how they're decapitating the enemies.
It's exactly what it is. I'm sure there was one chapter for an entire freaking like 15-page chapter or whatever that was just one like 30-second battle of them just murdering some stuff. Wow. It was ridiculous.
It's like the name of the first book is The Way of Kings. The name of the first book of that series.
We'll have to check it out.
It's incredible. Oh my goodness.
It's definitely that's what I want to get into is the Warhammer 40K.
Warhammer. Yeah, I would suggest if you're even slightly a fan of football, read Bloodborne, because that book is Bloodborne.
Yeah, read Bloodborne, then go play Bloodborne.
Yeah, no, Blood Bowl, it was amazing. I don't know why it was just like such a hilarious concept to me, and every single team in there is just a play on an actual team, like the freaking the Orkland Raiders. They're all orcs. That's it's so good. And there's like the Buccaneers are actual pirates and stuff like that. It's so good. Nice, it's so funny. And the Giants, of course, are actual giants.
What about you, Keith? What are you reading? What's your favorite book series?
I can't really, like, the books that I used to read, like, I can't even remember them right now.
Have you read any of the Harry Potters or anything?
No.
You just watched the movies?
What?
Oh, boy.
Man.
We're going to have to
start getting you into some of these books.
Is the only way that I can do it.
I will send you some audiobooks. I will send you this Powers of the Six audiobook.
I do have another book series to talk about, though.
What's that?
It's also equally good. I mean, these... Top-notch shit.
Top-notch shit.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm going to have to write a list. You're going to have to give me a list.
Dude, I will gladly. So the next one it's called The Name of the Wind. It's supposed to be a trilogy of books. It might be 4. I don't know. But it's written by a guy named Patrick Rothfuss, who's like a super chill dude. Guy plays D&D like on the weekly. He's like uber nerd, really down to earth, super chill. Kind of guy, at least by like the videos I see of him and all of his interviews that he's done and stuff. But his book series like follows this guy who's now like a tavern owner, and this dude comes in to his tavern to just because he like found out, it's like, hey, I heard that you've done some pretty crazy things in your life. It's like, would you mind if I wrote them down in a book? And the whole book that you read is the recounting of this story, and it's just like him learning that magic exists, learning that he has powers, that he's an actual capable fighter, that all this weird magical shit. Like, it's kind of like one of those shell lives. Like, everything's normal on the surface, but then when you get into it, there's actual magic. There's, like, deeper weird stuff to the world. And it's all kind of dark. So it's not like peachy, everything is
dark
nice.
Fantasy.
It's like bad things happen and then worse things happen and then like, geez, like,
I love that stuff. I love like the dark stories where shit is not happy. Like, I like when the main character is dead at the end of some movie I saw or something. It's because it's,
well, I won't spoil anything, but it's
to me
good.
it's more like it's a little more real because like I love the comic book heroes in movies and stuff, but they always win in the end no matter what. So it's nice to see some like when they actually lose, it's more grounded.
Man, I've listened to actually quite a lot of audiobooks recently and everything. One that I listened to that I kind of had trouble getting through, this one cracked me up because the book was called Written in Stone. And I decided to listen to it because I'm like, man, I'm always on these fantasy. I want to listen to something like sci-fi or something, just switched up a bit. So it's about actually time travel. And what it is I'm not spoiling anything by saying this because this is written on the back of the book. But a guy gets trapped 300 million years in the past with dinosaurs and everything. And so what he does is he knows he's gonna die and everything. He just like eventually, because it's like super hectic. You can't live in that time. There's constant predators on you, things that'll kill you. So what he's doing is just every night he's sneaking out and writing a note in like the riverbeds with like a rock and everything, hoping that 300 million years later someone will find it and stop him from traveling in time.
Does he not know basic science to where that amount of time completely changes?
It could. That's why he writes it in the entire river, so that somehow someone can find some of these letters and I guess under and over like dinosaur tracks. And so scientists finally do, and they find the guy or whatever. But the story is okay. It's not bad. It has a lot of death and everything, and some friendship and everything. I'd give the story like a 6 out of 10. But what really got me is when I first downloaded it, I saw in the things was someone reviewed it saying, this is the worst narrated audiobook I've ever heard. He said the lady takes so many pauses in between her words and everything. And I was listening to it, I'm like, he's crazy, there's nothing. But as it got further and further on, I swear this was not edited at all, because this lady would do things where she would do these things where, you know, when you're reading something out loud, when you first read it, you say it in probably the improper tone or whatever. So she would say something, she would stop, and then she'd go back and say it again.
Really?
The first couple times it only happened like here and there throughout almost the whole book, until right at the end she'd do it like 4 times in a row, trying to get the right way of saying it and everything. And it wasn't edited. This was from Audible.
Was it like a $2? Was it like a $2 audio?
No, it was full price and everything.
What the hell?
Jesus, but it was weird because, and then at one point, you could tell she started to lose her voice, and she straight up in the middle of the audiobook went to clear her throat.
Do they not have standards for that stuff? I thought they did.
Yeah, I'm like, this is not edited. And she would be like, he turned to look at her. He turned to look at her. I'm like, what? This is crazy. But that was the wildest audio.
Maybe she did it perfectly, and that's how the book was written.
Oh, maybe.
You never know.
But the only audiobooks I've ever listened to actually were like the full collection of all the Harry Potter books and all the George R.R. Martin Song of Fire, Ice and Fire books.
Oh, so Game of Thrones.
I thought you were going to say Song of Fire.
No, Song of Ice and Fire. So all those 1 through 5 I have on audiobook, and I've listened to them repeatedly.
Listened to some of the Harry Potter on audiobook a long time ago, and the books were actually like coming out and stuff like that. But yeah, they always really good. Yeah. They did like different voices for the characters and stuff.
Those are the ones I like, and that's what they did for a lot of those Game of Thrones.
Steve and I used to, when we were little kids, we would rent the Harry Potter audiobooks on cassette.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking
from
about.
The library.
They're super
and
good.
we'd go home and we'd go to sleep early sometimes just to put that tape in the cassette tape and listen to it as we go to sleep.
The last person that was awake when they realized the other one was asleep would go turn it off so we didn't miss it. We'd have to wind it back.
Yeah, so that shit was good, man. And then
I love those Harry Potter books.
My all-time favorite book series.
Oh, I know this.
Pendragon. Ooh, man, 10-book series.
Man, it's kind of for
I started that
like teens though.
Well, yeah, a lot of the books I listen to for teens, I find that they get to the point more.
Yeah,
a lot of the ones that are really like labeled adult fantasy, I feel like they drag on with some of the details.
I love that. I love that though, because it's a much more layered story. Because I mean, if you get into the child fantasy ones like Artemis Fowl and Pendragon and Aragon. Like, they have good surface stuff, but when you look at it deeper, there's, like, tons of holes in the story.
To me, it feels like they're trying too hard to paint a picture that I already have in my head. So.
Yeah, like, I like when they leave a little bit more of it to imagination. But I feel like Pendragon is a little bit better than, like, Aragon, because I've read Aragon and, like, they made Chronicles of Narnia. Like, those ones, it's like, it seems, like, too childish. But
I read all the Chronicles of Narnia. It drove me fucking crazy.
Yeah, me too. Pendragon seemed like it starts out kind of that way because the character's like 13 or 14 when it starts out, but by the end he's like 20, so the books get more adult as the character grows up.
Oh, that's awesome.
That series has got some crazy twists in it. They always end the book on like, holy shit, like what's gonna happen next? Yeah.
Next time.
I hate that in books.
It's written by
I like resolutions
DJ
in books, you know?
Well, he resolves everything in this book. That's what I loved about the ending of this book is they went back and resolved everything.
It had a great
ending. Like at the end of book 1 type thing, it resolved everything?
Yeah.
Like every character that
the whole book
don't know something about.
The whole book is you're going through this thing and you're learning things as he's learning, but even until all the way to the end, everything is so vague you don't quite understand how everything works and everything.
And then the last half of the book just wraps everything up.
The last half of the last book, yeah,
and that's what I meant.
It's pretty crazy. It's cool too. I mean, he visits so many different things in there because he travels through space and time to these different, space and times. and he has to like learn the way each of these worlds work and everything, and try to find a way to save what they're called as turning points in each of these territories.
Like one of the ones, he goes back basically to World War II.
Yeah.
Like start of that, and he has to find the turning point.
This is kind of spoiler, but in there's territories. There's 10 territories in this space and time and everything, and 3 of them are Earth
at different times.
You have Earth 1, 2, and 3.
Oh wow.
One is Earth around World War II and everything, whereas 2 is like modern time and 3 is in the future. So
and if like it's kind of another spoiler, but if something happened in Earth 1, it would actually change Earth 2
and 3.
And 3, but if it's like he's off somewhere else that's not Earth, it won't really affect Earth.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's a pretty wild story and everything, with one main enemy that he's going against the entire thing. But it gets pretty deep.
#deep.
Lots of twists.
So it's like a Legends of Tomorrow in book form.
Yeah, that's talking about like time and stuff. I really like how do you pronounce his name? The guy who read Jurassic Park. And you got a Jurassic Park shirt on.
Jeff Goldblum?
Mike? No, Jeff Goldblum. No, he didn't write.
Jeff Goldblum, the writer of Jurassic Park.
Crichton or Michael Crichton? I don't know how to pronounce his last name.
Michael
Keaton.
Michael
Keaton.
Keep going, Edwin. I want to hear the other ones you got.
One of the old books he wrote was Timeline, which they eventually turned into a movie with Paul Walker. But that's pretty awful.
Yeah.
The movie was awful, but that book was really
I was
good.
gonna say, they're really going back in time.
I have one more series.
One more series.
Yeah, one more. And that's just because you were talking about a big old 10-book series, the Pendragon.
Mm-hmm.
There's also, I mean, it's pretty popular. It's the Wheel of Time.
Oh yeah,
Aren't they? I was gonna talk about that. Is that the one that they're turning into a TV show?
yeah.
I think so. Yeah,
because that's Robert Jordan, right?
that is Robert. Jordan.
Yeah, that's definitely the one. I just read that like 2 nights ago. They're turning it into a TV show.
Or you
hopefully,
it's
it's
an
an HBO
asked
show.
her mother, she would have told you.
I know. I forgot. I keep forgetting to tell her.
And it is good. So I'm assuming if they're doing the TV show, maybe it's one book per season,
Like Game of Thrones.
I mean that's
what I'm saying. I hope it's HBO because just like Game of Thrones.
Because they're also doing, like I was saying, the Patrick Rothfuss books, The Name of the Wind. That's also going to be on HBO, I believe.
Mm.
So that's going to be another series. Thing is, he's got to finish that trilogy so that they can start everything. I don't know. I'm just excited. Call me.
I've never read Wheel of Time, and it's funny. Like Game of Thrones and Wheel of Time is something that my mom has been reading since the books were actually coming out, and she's always like, "If you want to read a book, Wheel of Time's really good." And
they really are. Like, it's one of those things like, people today don't do that because you have video.
Yeah.
I used to read
all the time.
You can only find so many of the audiobooks.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing but video games. Now.
Speaking of audiobooks, I've also listened to another one. The one I'm currently listening to is the Stoneblood Saga. I just finished book 2. I don't know if there's any other audiobooks of it, but it's pretty cool, man, because basically this prince and princess move away from their kingdoms or whatever to have their son and everything, and their son doesn't know anything about his heritage because they were hiding and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But by mishap, this isn't a spoiler because it's on the back of the book. By mishap, his parents are killed before they can explain anything to him, just as he's starting to discover that he has magical powers. And apparently there's a lot of people in this no
it's like Harry Potter.
Well, I mean, not necessarily, because it's fantasy. It's back in times like he's a blacksmith and everything, and he builds weapons. Harry Potter's a blacksmith on the cupboard under the stairs and shit. A little blacksmith.
Harry Potter was a cook though. He's making breakfast there.
But yeah, this movie, this world that they're in is pretty intriguing because there's a lot of people with magic and whatnot, but basically no one really understands magic all that much. So they're still discovering how it works and interacts with you and everything, and they're figuring out who's really strong and all that stuff. So they're doing a lot of experimental magic and everything, which is pretty cool. Like he's really good at imbuing things with his blood and bloodstones and all that.
It's weird. Like Bloodborne.
It's cool because he's like half Northern man, which has giant's blood, so he's big as hell. And then his mother's like a fair-haired, magical type woman from the South and everything. And they
sound exactly like a book that I started reading, but I know it wasn't the same book.
Harry Potter?
But
no, it was like the same thing where the kid was like royalty or something, and it was like a mix of two people, and like I don't know if he had magic because I didn't get that far because the first book is literally him traveling from one city to the other, and I almost finished that book Harry and Potter. I'm like, Hogwarts. I'm telling you.
But what I really like about it is, he starts out like this weak little kid and everything, and what I like is how they when the main character grows a lot. You see the character. At the end of the first book, he's like a badass trained warrior, just whoops ass and everything.
So not like Harry Potter.
No, I took Harry Potter 7 years.
Never mind, he never gets badass. His friends are badass, and he's.
But yeah, I love that when you see the character start out as nothing and just become the most badass motherfucker ever.
Dude, that's the Stormlight Archives books. The Way of Kings.
Yeah.
God damn, I love it.
So, enough about books, right? Unless you have something you want to throw in, Keith? No? Cool. So, Steve, hit us with this me being a bully to you when we grew up. We're growing up.
I'm sure there's lots of other fun things I could talk about, but there's this one particular time, because we lived really close to the school we went to. They had, like, the playground and everything. It was me, you, and our friend Matt. And we're hanging out, playing at the playground. And I don't remember what happened, but I wasn't listening to you or something, and you got mad at me. And I was like climbing up on some jungle gym thing. I'm like, no, I'm blah, blah, blah. I'm not listening. You straight up threw a rock at me, not meaning to hit me, but you pegged me right in the face under the eye with this big ass rock. Like, it was a big rock, too. And like, I was like, being a little kid, it seemed like I was like 30 feet in the air on this jungle gym, but I wasn't really high. I didn't fall off, but I almost did.
That a football player are.
You just nailed me in the face with this rock, and I'm just like crying and shit. I was like 8.
I don't recall. Are you sure it was me?
You were so apologetic. You're like, oh my god, I didn't mean to actually hit you. I was just going to throw it near you. I'm so sorry.
I was a shithead. I probably did mean to hit you, just regretted it afterwards.
Probably, but yeah, I mean, there wasn't much to that story, but I don't even know if it was before or after, but I got revenge one time when you always used to scare me in the middle of the night. I'd like get up to go to the bathroom and you'd be hiding behind the door and you'd jump out.
Oh my god, all the time. That we had the bathroom door at the end of this hallway, but right next to the bathroom door was this tiny little closet door. And right when Steve would walk out, just as he passed the closet, I would pop out of the closet and go, rah! Just get him every time, scare the shit out of him, make him jump.
Scared the hell out of me.
He just gets so mad.
There's this one time that year you were an alien for Halloween, so you had like it was like a super cheesy like big head alien,
glow in the dark alien mask. It was just the mask and just the classic.
With the big old eyes.
Yeah, alien. And it scared the shit out of Steve.
I would have killed you.
I'm getting to that.
So we had bunk beds, and I always slept on the top. Not always, but I slept on the top. And
you want to tell a story?
Yeah, I'll tell a story. One time, I popped my head down from the bunk bed, pitch black, wearing the mask, and apparently Steve thought I was just holding the mask down because he kicked the shit out of the mask.
It scared the hell out of me because this creepy alien face just looks over the bed at me.
I was just putting it down over the edge, but I was wearing it and it was on my head. And he kicked me straight in the fucking nose. Him, and I'm gushing blood and shit.
The inside of the mask is all covered in blood.
It served me right for trying to scare me straight. Ninja kicked me right in the face.
At least in bed, bad Brad. Never scare somebody when they're trying to sleep.
That seriously is the worst. That is the worst thing to do.
Scaring my brother all the time?
No, just scaring somebody as they're going to bed or when they're going to bed.
I used to have trouble getting to sleep. I was always so scared. Brad definitely.
You probably had nightmares, huh?
I've only ever had one really bad nightmare, and it was the first time I'd ever I guess they call it lucid dreaming, where you realize you're in a dream. Because at first, it was horrible. There was these weird alien bug monsters. But halfway through, I realized, wait, I'm in a dream, and I gagged myself. I stuck my finger down my throat, and I woke up, and I was like, oh my god, it was horrible.
That's how you wake yourself up? I jump off cliffs.
No, that doesn't wake me up.
See, I've had one terrible nightmare experience, really, and it's a reoccurring nightmare. I haven't had it in maybe 8 years, but holy hell, it'd start out with. I'd wake up in bed. I'd have to go downstairs. I could take this elevator down to the main floor. The world is black and white, and it's like one of those old music videos, like the Yaha music video. You guys remember that?
No,
take me out.
It's Take on Me.
Take on Me. There you go.
Yeah.
And it's sketched.
Yeah.
So that's my dream.
Dude, that sounds like an awesome.
But the world is perfectly lined. I'm talking with a ruler, perfect lines.
What?
Everything's super straight. Everything's super simple. And then
did you not like geometry as a kid?
Well, no, I don't know what happened, but it would go from being this normal, easy thing to this fucking meatball crashing into the ground. All the straight lines immediately coiled up on each other, and it would make me anxious.
It's one of those things. Yeah,
dude, it sounds like a fever dream.
No, I used to have those fever dreams, like night terrors. I remember the one that was reoccurring. And for some reason, this thing that always bothered me was for some reason I would look at my fingers and they weren't the right size. I know that sounds really weird, but it was so bizarre. I felt like I had huge fingers and I was poking it with another finger that was super tiny. And it was like you said, just anxiety. And I would have, and there were sometimes where I had dreams while I was awake. And you probably remember this. Mom and Dad talk about how they would have to come into the room and fully wake me up.
That's what my parents had too.
We had this
cold sweats.
Yeah, we had this net that had a bunch of stuffed animals hanging from the ceiling. And I remember one time they were coming alive and attacking me. And I was fully awake, but I was losing my mind.
Yeah, well, the worst part about that,
I was losing my mind.
The absolute worst part about that nightmare is I remember every single time that happened, over this PA system in my head, there would be this woman in a suit who was prim and proper, just standing perfectly straight, perfect posture, and she would just say, "Tick-tock." And the world is caving in on me as I'm trying to run to maintain on this. I'm what is going on? And I'd cry. Because the first time I had that dream, I was 7 or 8.
Yeah.
And I was straight just bawling, crying in my sleep when my mom woke me up.
Oh, man.
And it's been 8 years since. I haven't had it since I was in high school.
Yeah.
But man, that stuff...
I had a lot of weird reoccurring dreams, not even nightmares. But I had this one reoccurring dream that was you remember the old Mario Kart battle mode where they had the 4 rainbow pillars?
Yeah.
I had a dream that I was just in it. I was just living it, playing Mario Kart. And it was weird because I don't think I ever played that map, but I had a reoccurring dream that I was just going ham in the Mario Kart battle mode over and over again.
What were you saying?
I've done damn near everything in my dreams, but every time, whenever I have a nightmare, I specifically go to sleep in my bed. I'll wake up in the dream, in my bed, and it'll be one of those fall through those dreams where you keep on thinking you wake up or whatnot.
Inception.
Really? That's weird. I've never had a dream like that.
But the catch is, there's always a lot of the time I'm waking up in these weird areas, some desert in some place, and or I go outside
Keith
my door.
goes to sleep and wakes up.
He goes to sleep.
But I have everything's weird. There's always something flying. There's always some sort of creature that's you'd see in a Harry Potter movie or that or worse off I never really got quite to Glass House level, but I've seen like some.
What does that mean?
13 Ghosts, man.
13 Ghosts. Yeah. Oh God, that movie! Don't even get me started on terrifying movies when I was a kid.
I just remember.
That movie came out when I was like 8.
Part with like glass breaking and shattering part of the house or the whole house. I don't know what the hell happened.
That was the end.
Towards the end, yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Here's a good one.
15-year-old movie.
Before the movie, the cartoon came out, All Real Monsters.
That was before me.
That one bugged me because of the guy holding his eyes.
Eyeballs with a hairy armpits.
It bugged me because it was his hands and his eye sockets at the same time.
The main character, the bunny guy or whatever, the red guy.
Sure, yeah.
Like 5 years before that, I had a dream where he, like something that looked just like him, just peering out of this one area where light comes out of, because I had, you remember how my room was, it had the hallway out there and there's a light in the room. I like imagine one of those holes where he's just popping up looking straight at me. And I was like found every, like I flip in the dream, the blanket over my head so he can't see me, because kids, that's their safety
you hid
zone.
under the blanket in your dream. That's like next level.
I'm surprised I didn't kill Steve when we were growing up, because
dude, I was a terrified child.
Because I would have nightmares. I remember this one nightmare that scared the shit out of me. I used to always be afraid of the theme song of the X-Files. Like, doo, 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 doo. So one time I had a dream, I don't know where it was, but this guy got sucked up into an industrial fan and got his head chopped off. And that was scary as fuck to me, because right after he did that, the X-Files song came on in my dream. And I was scared the hell of some alien-ass fans coming after us and killing us. So I was down in the bed with Steve. I went down and laid in the bed with Steve, but I would hide under the blankets, and I didn't want him to get my brother Steve, so I would cover his head with the blanket too. That's why I was surprised I didn't kill him.
Because the blanket's gonna magically help you.
And every time I'd wake back up, he had uncovered his face, but I'd cover back up his face.
It probably wasn't me. It's probably Mom coming in and doing it.
No, I'm pretty sure you did it.
She talks about that, how you used to cover your head when you were asleep, but she'd have to come in and uncover it so you didn't suffocate.
So yeah, I was trying to kill my brother, but at the same time I was trying to protect him from scary ass industrial fans.
If he was gonna die, you were gonna be the one to kill him.
That's right.
I don't know. I've never had a problem putting anything under the blanket. I've never heard of that one.
You know what?
I always was the one that had to see. I had to be staring at the door if something was going to come in and kill me.
See,
I could not sleep because I'd just be staring at the door for hours and hours.
You know the shit that would scare me though is anything that has to do with like aliens, extraterrestrials, any of that shit in the dark.
Yeah.
Fuck that. Owls, I cannot. I cannot handle owls. Have you guys ever seen? Have you guys ever seen The Fourth Kind?
Yeah.
That movie terrorizes me to this day. I still think it's one of the most frightening
owls. I just think of the Blair Witch Project 2 with the owl coming through the window.
Oh, number 2.
It's just the face. Like, have you ever seen like a negative image of like an owl's head?
Yeah,
and then just like the big old eyes, and then like the nose.
Kind of alien.
Yeah, so when that shit happens, it's just like and then I just like feel it coming through the window, and like immediate anxiety, and I'm like sweating. I'm like, no, I'm gonna die. It's like, if they don't kill me, I'm gonna die because my heart's gonna explode.
You know what? I'm like sitting here judging you, but I was scared of industrial fans.
That's a true fear for me.
It's funny because it's from a hilarious cartoon. There's an episode of Simpsons where I guess they're in like Area 51 or something. They open a warehouse and there's a little green alien, and he's like, he's got like, I don't remember what they say because I haven't seen it. It's one of the really early episodes, but he's got like a glow stick basically, and he's like, blah, 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 and like runs at the door, and they have to shut it real quick. And they're like, oh shit, he's got a stick, shut it. They shut it every time because we have that big shop in the backyard where I live. Every time I have to shut that door and the lights off, I'm like, that fucking alien glow stick's gonna light up on the other side of the shop, and that alien's gonna come charging at me, and I gotta shut the door quick. I don't know why.
I think I've never even seen that.
I have to look it up afterwards. Yeah, I don't know why that it just gets me every time. There's darkness and I have to close the door. I'm like, something's gonna grab me as I'm closing the door.
Wow. You know what cartoon character always scared the shit out of me was Ren from Ren and Stimpy. Those creepy. I used to have nightmares of him, but he would like combine and fuse with my oldest sister, but would have antlers. It was just like creepy as fuck, man.
So it was like Bullwinkle?
No, he was like antlers, and he'd have long curly hair, and just ooh. I freaked out when I was a little kid. Yeah. But you know how I would always, when I was scared, like freaked out, had a bad dream, scared of the dark or whatever, I would sit there and I would focus my mind to think of the Aladdin movie. I would just sit there and think of all the scenes of the Aladdin movie, and that would keep me from getting scared. It was just weird.
I just listened to the Smash Mouth CD.
That's
exactly the album, because the Astro Lounge, I used to have a CD player next to my bed with some headphones, and that always helped calm me down when I would because I was a super anxious kid, and I still, like, every time I get scared, like, it's like one of those Pavlov things. Yeah. Where the second I get scared, somebody once told me. Like, it just
that is the song that's going to be playing on some broken ass radio when you die.
No, that just reminds me of Jeepers Creepers.
Yeah, I know. You're gonna hear somebody once. That's gonna be the last thing you hear before you die.
Apparently, putting on my skin.
I saw a trailer, but it was just recut stuff from the first and second one about a third one. I didn't know if it was a legitimate trailer.
I think they did make a third one, didn't they?
I think they're making it. Yeah.
Well, I thought
supposed to come out this year.
Oh, okay. Because the first one was trippy and super scary.
I really liked the first one, and the second one was
a little more comical.
Second one was okay.
Because, I mean, like, the dude had it chained up on the wall with a shotgun ready to blast it. He was like,
just in case it's 21 years. In case it's in cement and it can't get out. Mm-hmm. That's how you beat that monster.
No, who knows what kind of... Well, because the dude wanted to kill it. He wanted to be the first one.
He wanted to get revenge. But it can't die, and he figured that out when he broke it into a million pieces.
Because he's eaten too many hearts.
Stupid movie.
It was a good movie.
What are you saying about it?
Out of me.
Want to know my creepiest reoccurring dream?
What?
And it's because it recurred over my lifetime. I don't know how many times. I don't want to sit there and try to count over 20 times this dream coming back.
It was always a little bit different every time.
It was always my house, and it was always the simplest description. A devil just out the exits of my house, like never letting me leave the fucking house.
I played too much Diablo.
Jesus. No, this is before Diablo. This is like
Diablo. So what you're saying is you wanted to go outside, but a little devil was keeping you from being outside. He wasn't little.
He was tall, slender, but he was.
Was he like a him?
It was him, and he was decently tall. And the closest thing I could come to remembering of how he looks is there's this game I play, Heroes 3. Granted, before this dream had been happening to me since I was 7, and the Heroes 3 was like when I was like 13, 14, and just looked like that devil.
Wow. And I was envisioning more like him from Powerpuff Girls.
I was thinking more like
because that kind of devil was creepy.
The devil from Tenacious D. I'm the devil. I love man.
I don't think I could be.
They put that on Netflix. I just watched that.
I could not be afraid of that
days
devil.
ago.
He'd just be like, he's like too rock. I don't know. Like awesome. I'd expect it in a rock video, and I'm like be jamming out with him.
Tasty.
I think we found out that everyone here is a Tenacious D fan.
Everyone ever is a Tenacious D fan.
So what about bowling, Edwin? I know. Do you have any other siblings besides your sister?
No, just my sister.
No, just your sister. Did you ever? You guys are really close in age, aren't you?
Yeah, like 2.
2 years?
Mm-hmm.
You 2 years older than her or younger?
2 years older.
Okay. Did you ever fuck with your sister in any way?
Were you mean to her? But I used to mess with my sister all the time. Never a whole lot, because that was like the one time we did not mess with each other. Is like towards the night, because I had night terrors growing up.
Brad never got the memo.
Dude, it was like right when we got into bed, I put that alien mask on. Get out of here.
It was.
Well, no, I just had a bad streak of night terrors, and me and my sister used to share a room. We couldn't share beds for very long because she moved too much, and once we split beds, those nightmares like slowed down by a lot. So it could have been that she was moving a lot, and it would just like trigger something.
Oh, I thought she was giving you the nightmare.
No, but no for. During that, I mean, there was a couple of times when we moved into our new house, when we moved out to the...
What the fuck are you doing? Smelling his toes.
I just chilled smelling his toes. Anyways, when we first moved out to Cold Springs, way the hell out there, me and my sister finally had rooms on opposite sides of the house. But every night, because it's a new house, she would get scared, or she would ask me to go into her room for a while. One time, because she had a closet door with like a messed up wheel, so it would kind of just like swing open like a door almost.
This is how the devil looked.
Oh, nice!
This is pretty normal devil.
Ooh. But
and I mean, like the scariest thing was in the game they do this fire, like the fire consumes him, and then like for the teleporting, it just consumes him and then makes him reappear. Same thing in the fucking dream.
Just doing that outside your house.
He's having like flashbacks and shit.
Straight out of hell, yeah. No, but what I would do is, because it would open like a door, my sister was claustrophobic growing up. And the way that you can position that closet door, it could make the room seem like half its original size. So I'll like knock on it and be like, hey.
No one's.
And I'll just like tap on the door. Hey. And she would just start crying, and then I'd have to turn because I could just sort of reach out and flick the light on behind me. And she'd be crying, and I'd go over there. I'd feel so terrible. I'm like, it's just me. But I did like 3 or 4 times, but she would just bawl. And I just felt so sorry. She's like, I thought I was going to die. I'm like, oh my God. I mean, I would have too. If that was me on that side, I'd be like, it's a fucking, I'm going to jump out this window.
I'm done. I just give up. I know. I was like accepting it. That's how I got over being scared. I'm like, if something's going to kill me right now, I'm laying in bed. I'm screwed. I'm just like, whatever, go to sleep.
I'm going to try to get as much sleep as I can before
No, that's the only reason I got over being scared and stuff like that. It's because I got to a point where I figured, well, if something is, like, if there's an alien in my room hiding in the corner, I'm screwed. It's an alien. I'm so done.
About aliens in the corner.
Like Signs. That movie is so good, but it was one of the scariest movies I've ever seen when it first came out.
Signs.
It was creepy. The ending actually killed it for me.
It was, because I feel like they should never have showed the...
Well, when they revealed it, it was like the terrible CGI, and it's like squirting this mist out of its fucking forearm. It was a good movie.
They should make a sign.
Weird.
They should make a Signs too.
But yeah, the aliens like come back. Everything leading up to that was really good.
Squirt guns.
Was it Scary Movie 4 that made fun of that one? With Eminem and 8 Mile.
Yeah, like the alien peeing out of its finger and the president, and he's like, "Oh, we're not so different, I see."
He's like trying to work his mouth.
Jesus Christ!
Have you not seen Scary Movie 4?
I have. I've seen some.
I hate those movies.
I got tired of them.
Everybody just trash.
Oh man, all those scary movies when I was a kid. I always ended up watching the scariest movies at someone else's house. Like 13 Ghosts, we watched at that one kid's house. I don't remember his name.
That movie.
I don't know what kid you're talking about.
Remember where we lived? He lived at the end of the street before the big street in like that those apartments.
You talking about Michael?
Might have been. Black kid. The next morning he tried to eat a raw egg.
Black
like
kid?
Threw up. Yeah, he was like slightly black.
Slightly black.
It was like, I swear it was your only black friend when we were a kid because that neighborhood we lived in. You don't remember that? He was only there, like his family moved really quick.
You talking about Antoine?
Antoine, that would be it.
We watched all the Harry Potter movies with him?
Yeah, but we watched 13 Ghosts before we tried to go to sleep, and I was way too young for that movie. Wow. I lost my shit, and I had to go home. I couldn't stay the night.
You know what movie I was too young for when I saw? There was actually two. They're both like 80s or early 90s movies, but the first one was called Pumpkinhead.
Okay.
I don't know if any of you
I've heard
have
of it.
seen.
I've heard of it. I don't want to see it.
Oh my god, the most disturbing looking.
Is that the one
demon.
with the dude with the weird face and his girlfriend is blind and she's like, "Oh man, look at your face," touching his face?
No, I don't think
so. I just remember that from Family Guy.
That sounds familiar. Though I think I know what you're talking about.
No, I'll show you guys a picture of what the Pumpkinhead thing looks like, but it's like a demon.
I've definitely seen it.
I think I've seen like video like of parts of it.
Yeah,
like, nope.
This thing has enormous hands. It moves really quickly and just tears your head off.
Oh
like,
yeah,
your head.
I've seen some of it. I've seen like the creature, but one that really got me was The Ring because I watched that over at Matt's brother's house.
Oh, I thought that movie was stupid.
And they had a coat on top of a vacuum in the corner.
I thought it was pretty silly.
They had a coat on top of a vacuum in the corner, so it was about little girl size.
Oh no!
It was dark in the room, and I literally did not sleep at all that night because I was staring at a vacuum until the sun came up.
Why didn't you run kick it?
I couldn't. I lost my shit.
I lose
it. When I got scared like that, I would just freeze and just stare at what was scaring me.
Freddy Krueger
50 hours.
freaked me out.
Freddie and Jason.
I hope you don't do that anymore.
Freddy Krueger did because that fucker will get you in your sleep. So I didn't want to go to sleep. The problem was finally when I got my own room, it was like super sweet. I was up on the bed, shit. I'm like, yeah, sleeping in my own room. I'm like, fuck, Freddy Krueger. He's gonna get me. And I lost my shit and I went running out in the kitchen and I'm like, what am I gonna do? And then I'm like, there's nothing I can do. I gotta go sleep.
Right? That's how I got over it. There's nothing you can do. Just go to sleep.
But that was the last time I ever remember being afraid of, like, scared and shitless.
See, one of the strange things was, like, that whole demon thing. It started to really slow down the more and more I stopped believing in church stuff,
religious stuff.
Yeah, like the more and more I got just more logical and
scared of what the church had told you to be scared of, basically, and you had nightmares about it.
Yeah, it seemed like it was like it wasn't even just limited to church though, but it was like that that was the biggest stuff that they teach you to fear.
Yeah, they're definitely.
And I just stopped fearing it. Like I my biggest thing was I started yelling at, like, I thought my house was haunted back in the day, and
start yelling at the ghosts.
I told him, you can't hurt me if I don't let you, because that's one of the things you actually learn about ghosts.
That's like a good premise of a scary movie. If someone says that, and that ghost just goes in there, fucks. It's like, what?
Well, that worked well. Most of those, like, most people when they say that, they don't mean it.
You have to mean it or the ghost won't believe you.
Well, things like that, they're supposed to be so divided between this world and the next or whatever, so that they can't, like, people believing in them is, like, kind of what ties them here, is one of my beliefs. Kind of like a lot of lore about old gods. It's a lot of the older gods, the more you believed in them, the more powerful they became.
Well, it's all just superstition and stuff. I was talking talking to my dad about that. How we were talking about how big buildings don't have 13th floors. It's like these billionaires are suspicious of the number 13. Like, what is up with that? That's crazy to me.
There's never any 13th floors.
Yeah, I know. It's so weird. Like, that's just like it's just a number. It's just a superstitious number. It's like,
I kind of want to make hotels that have 13 floors.
You're a damn liar. It was labeled 14.
Holiday Inn Express.
No, as if Iron Fist has taught us anything, the 13th floor is where the bad guys hide.
Yep.
That's literally a big thing.
It's definitely not on there. It's with an access card.
Yeah.
So you can't even access the 13th floor unless you're VIP.
Oh my god, I almost forgot.
Illuminati. There you go.
Illuminati.
I don't know what made me think of this, but something that happened to me at work the other day. I was driving back from Truckee. I was just cruising in the left lane and everything, and I look over to my right, and there's this lifted ass F-150, this lifted ass F-150 that is like lost its left front wheel. You're a fucking bitch.
You're too good at that. You might want to watch out.
putting invisible sausages in your mouth. But this
look up pictures of people coughing on YouTube, or not on YouTube, on Google. Just look up, go to people coughing and go to images.
Oh, but go ahead, Brad. What were you saying?
I'm not
even gonna worry.
Go ahead. I'll finish your story. I'm sorry.
Christ, we derailed you. Stupid.
No, I think I know what you're talking about though with the F-150 with the missing wheel.
Yeah. So hold on. Let me tell you.
Okay.
So there was this lifted F-150 and it was missing its left front wheel and it was grinding, like sending sparks, trying to get over to the side. I'm like, holy shit, man! I'm looking at the side and everything. I'm looking at my side mirror. And as I'm passing, I'm going, damn! I wonder where his wheel went. And just as I turn my head up front, the wheel is about a foot away from me, bouncing between me and the wall as I'm driving. I'm like, holy shit, what do I do? Because this is a big ass fucking wheel. If I would have hit that thing, it would have torn the shit out of the work vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
I don't drive a big rig or anything. I just drive a little regular truck for work and everything. But I'm like, holy shit! So I gun it and get past it as it starts just in my rearview mirror. I see it start to go over to the side and almost take out the car behind me and shit.
My goodness!
And like slam on their brakes and swerve.
Was it a big gray?
Like, holy shit! It was like white gray. Yeah,
white gray. Okay, because that's the guy who lives down my street. And the only reason I know that is because that exact same car got towed to the front of his house,
missing a wheel,
missing that same. Was it the front left wheel?
Front left.
Yeah, front driver's side wheel. Lifted F-150.
Yep.
Right, and it was just
has like a pointy bull bar on
exactly,
the front.
Yep. That's the car. That's exactly the car. That's my neighbor.
Well, his wheel almost took me the fuck out, man.
That's crazy. Small world.
Since he just had it parked there. I was just like looking. I'm like, what the hell? I thought it happened like someone sabotaged the car right there in his driver.
Yeah, somebody stole his wheel.
Well, no, I thought because his wheel, he kept it there next to it. But it looks like the bolts got sheared off, and like I saw
the end of the story. But it's hilarious.
Well, because a portion of it was grinded off. So I'm like, this guy was driving when his wheel fell off.
Yeah, it was.
And it was like
there was like
said that, I'm
sparks
like,
and
shit,
flames just coming off of that thing. It was insane.
That's crazy.
And I wanted to talk to him to find out what the hell happened.
That was like a week and a half ago.
Yeah, that's where. Well, that car was there for like almost.
Now you know what happened.
It. Yeah. Holy shit!
Crazy.
That is insane.
Man.
Small world.
So yeah, pictures of we didn't do a recommended video, so I'm recommending this.
What?
Just Google pictures of people coughing. It looks like a bunch of people with an invisible dick in their mouth. Well, I'm not even joking. Just look. It's hilarious.
Oh my god! Get out of here!
Oh, that one guy is tickling balls, dude. That is crazy.
It looks so good. Just
all right, definitely Google people coughing. That's insane, man. What is the craziest thing you guys have ever seen while driving?
Here's one.
What?
Work vehicle. I'm supposed to be driving. I go pick up bounce houses. I have to go gas up. Get done gassing up. Car doesn't want to start. I put it in park. I know I put it in park. I watched other people put it in park. One of our work buddies is told to go in and work the van by our boss. I'm pretty sure I'm watching him not put it in park. And Kyle's going under the car to jumpstart it. As soon as he starts it up, the thing is in drive while he's under there. He survives, but hearing somebody scream like that is fucking intense.
Did he get run over?
Yeah, he was under the car and it started and it was in drive.
The car was trying to run him over as it was grinding the skin off his back.
The car was trying to run him over.
Jesus fucking Christ.
It was an Autobot.
Damn.
No, it's a Decepticon, dude.
Keith, ending it on a dark note.
Okay, I just figured out the moral of the episode.
Yeah.
Jumpstart your car from the hood, not from under the car.
Yeah, let the fucking thing take off without you.
Well, no,
if you're under
the story is make sure your car's in park or neutral.
No, it was the transmission was fucked up. That vehicle is actually still going in park. It continuously went to the shop, especially after that.
Especially after it all.
Well, hell yeah, that's a workers' comp claim waiting to happen right there.
But he got fired for something else.
I guess we're ending on that.
Yeah, that's
but the driver, the person that was in the driver's seat at that moment, got fired because he was negligent.
All right.
Don't run over your coworkers, guys. That's bad. That's terrible.
Thanks for listening. You can follow us on Twitter, still at Fools Banter. Also on Facebook at facebook.com/foolsbanter. Subscribe to our YouTube. Just search for Fools Banter.
Yeah, we don't.
It's
have
all
enough.
Fools
If
Banter.
you don't have enough
Fools
subscribers,
Banter, our SoundCloud.
Our SoundCloud will come
Yeah,
up. You
we
can
are
listen to it. You can listen to our podcast on YouTube, SoundCloud, iTunes, Android.
Yeah, like, comment, subscribe on all our goodies so that we know, what to work on.
Send us some feedback. You can email us or send us messages on Facebook or twit at us.
And share us on Facebook and all those medias.
Yes,
please.
Share us, please. Get us out there. It'll be cool.
Something about memes?
Yeah, share us some memes.
Share your dankest memes.
We've opened up
on all of our
can of words.
At
social media
Banter
outlets.
on Twitter. Just hit us with a million memes. It'd be sweet.
At least that'll let us know that someone other than us is listening to our podcast.
Just get a wall of memes. That would be fantastic. But yeah, cool, man. You guys got any closing words? You want to hit the memo for the day?
Well, we already got it. Don't run
What
over your coworkers.
Don't run over your coworkers.
Make sure your car's
That was the vehicle that ran over the coworker.
The guy got fired for
that.
Don't put on an alien mask and stick your head around or under a bunk
Don't
bed.
scare your siblings.
Yeah, don't scare people.
No, do it. It's fun.
Okay, don't do it when they're trying to sleep.
Don't be a sibling that gets scared.
No,
be the one doing the
fair.
scaring.
That's not fair.
Be the asshole. And clean your butts.
And clean your butts.
Have we said that every episode?
Well, yeah, that hygiene's important.
Dude, definitely. You always got to clean your butt.
Clean your butts.
All right. Take it easy. See ya.
Adios.